believe that there are a lot of people I talk to every day, Democrats, Republicans, independents alike, who don't have faith that state government is working for them anymore. The mandate, as I see it, for the next controller is really to be that source of information for people and to be a watchdog, truly understood. Unfortunately, too often, the controller seems like a rubber stamp as opposed to in any other setting, not necessarily a state setting, but in any commercial setting, for example, it would be the controller's job to be the watchdog. And a controller who wasn't doing that would be fired. And too often in California, it feels like the controller has been a rubber stamp because of the political placement of the controller vis-a-vis other statewide elected officials.
I could be lazy. I could just sit back and do just the bare minimum of the requirements. And quite honestly, as I've been talking about this race and my vision for the controller seat, a lot of people have not been receptive of a big picture of what a controller's office could actually be. And I've been told that I'm running for the wrong position. And I vehemently disagree. I think that we do need to elect strong people with strong values that are not afraid to stand up and are not afraid to speak out, whether it's in their tiny little box or not a tiny little box. And so the controller's office, or whether it's the Board of Equalization, or whether it's dog catcher, I think that we still need to have strong, thoughtful people that are able to read, write, and think, and then articulate and connect with people about that vision, about the policy decisions, about why they're taking the position that they're taking.
I'm fond of thinking, at least, that others in government, regardless of their political affiliation, who desire transparency, will get along with me just fine. Because at the end of the day, our goal is allied. We are trying to furnish to taxpayers a level of transparency and a measure of understanding of what's happening in state government that doesn't exist today. And so I'm optimistic that there will be opportunities to work together, but I also don't shy away from the fact that where conflict happens, it happens because there is a disagreement over the level of transparency that's required in our system.
I think it is about how you present the information. It doesn't have to be embarrassing. My style is not I got you, aha. I'm not trying to catch you in the hot seat. I'm not trying to catch you in a lie or even embarrass you. That has never been my leadership style. It is definitely more collaborative. And so my style really is if I find an audit and I find something that is glaring or could potentially be embarrassing, talking to the person, just having an honest conversation and saying, this is what I found, what can we do about this? Just working a little bit more collaboratively in the approach of it. I don't have a position on either one of the policy offices. I think that the controller's office, particularly when it comes to that, is to just find a way to streamline the Golden State stimulus checks, find a way to partner and to get those checks to Californians as quickly and as efficiently as possible, ensuring that there isn't any fraud, any loss, or anyone receiving money when they don't qualify.
My concern with one-time type solutions is precisely that they are one-time type solutions that if the conditions persist, we will be talking about 6 months from now another one-time solution, which doesn't get at the fundamental question of where's the flow of funds in the taxes and fees we charge on a gallon of gas right now.
State employees that have worked really hard, teachers that have worked really hard, I do believe that they should be able to retire and to count on their check. But I don't think we can naively continue being blind and relying on the robust state government or the robust budget and the governor to continue to pay the unfunded liability. Quite honestly, I think we have to figure out a way to widen the base, and I'm not quite sure how to go about widening the base, but I don't think that it is a stable model that is going to be sustainable.
We have made promises to state employees and teachers. We need to keep those promises, but we will be unable to keep them without, in my view, massive tax increases given the liabilities that we face in the long run. So let's be clear about what those liabilities are, and that's the first step that I would take. The second thing I would say is, in times of relative surplus, like we've seen in recent years, we need to be considering, can we pay down some of those long-term obligations? The legislature's done a little bit of that to their credit, and the governor has agreed, but we need to be doing more.
I have supported a wealth tax in the past, particularly coming out of San Francisco, and that wealth tax was more geared and centered around property. Property over, I think it was maybe $4 million in value. Vacant property also was also, voters passed an initiative that I was supportive of.
I do not. I believe if you look at our tax collections have increased year over year for the last several years. California has the revenue it needs to be a successful and good, compassionate state. We need to figure out how we're using our money to make sure that we are fulfilling our obligations and doing what we need to do to fulfill the promise of all these things we've got going on in our state. So I would not support such a tax. I'm not even sure it's constitutional, quite frankly.